My name is Mariam Al Qanea, and I used to be a student for my BS in Ahlia University. Also, I was a student here for my MBA, and I was a student of Dr. Alam for maybe 6 years. So for my graduation, for my thesis, Dr. Alam wanted me to choose something special and something, let's say, attractive. So he suggested the independency of board members. At the last, we decided to take the impact of the board independency on the Islamic bank performance in GCC countries. I finished my thesis in May 2016, and inshallah it will get published after a few months in the International Journal of Islamic Bank and Middle Eastern Finance and Management Journal. My aim in this research is to explore the impact of the independency board members on the performance of the Islamic Bank and GCC, since we didn't find any, let's say, no clear evidence or relationship between the independency and the performance of the firm itself. So we used two theories. The first one was the stewardship theory. It supports the null hypothesis, and it said that the independency has no impact on the performance of the firm, and the internal manager can manage better than the external one. The other theory was the agency theory. It supports the alternative hypothesis, and it said that there is an impact between the independency and the performance of the firm. The sample we chose was all the Islamic banks in the GCC countries. All the countries was chosen except Oman, because there is no Islamic banks in Oman. It was excluded from the study. And as a total, we had 30 banks, and we studied them. The variable we chose, the dependent variable, were the ROA and ROE. The control variables were the bank size, bank age, and the total member of the board. The independent variables were three, which was the most important: the ND1, ND2, ND3. The ND1, it means that we have 0 to 2 independent board members. ND2, 3 to 5, and ND3, it means we have 6 to 8 independent from the total board members. We did many tests and analysis. One of them was the advanced descriptive analysis, and as a result, we found that the banks with high independency had higher ROA and higher ROE. Also, the younger the bank is, the highest the independency was found in there. Also, the biggest the bank, and the higher the independency as well. Unlike the low independency banks, they had lower ROA and lower ROE. We had two sub-hypotheses. For the first one, we took the ND1, the effect of ND1 on the performance. We found that the ND1 has a positive and significant result on the ROA model only. The ROE had a positive but insignificant result. For the ND3, we found that it had the negative and insignificant results on the both models, ROA and ROE. So we rejected the second one. As a result, we rejected the alternative hypothesis that said that there is an impact of the independency on the performance of Islamic banks in GCC. So overall, as a conclusion, we concluded that the independency level was the 31.3% in GCC countries, which is considered to be a bit low. The ND1, having 0 to 2, is the only effective, or it has a result on the performance on the banks, ROA only, unlike the ND3. The total board member have a positive and significant result on ROA model as well. The size of the bank And the age of the bank can also affect the independency level. Um, and we can conclude finally that the ROA model presents the study more and better than ROA. The recommendations is to have 2 independent board members as a maximum in the board composition, so it can have a positive result on the performance. Also, the relation between the internal and external managers should be transparent, and the communication should be higher. So the external manager have an overall and detailed idea about the inner issues of the bank. Also, the Islamic banks should have their own corporate code, so they should develop it. My study had many limitations. One of them was that we only studied for 3 years, or 12, or 13, or 14, because we didn't have enough time to do more. So we recommend for the future that they maybe take O15 and O16 as well, and widen the study area into the Islamic countries, not only the GCC countries.